What's up, WWE YouTube Nation? I hope you are all having a great Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Monday Night Raw, the final Raw before WrestleMania 42. And you know what? I was thinking about after the pre-show on the channel earlier today what I was going to talk about in tonight's Raw recap, and it came down to one thing. But before we get into the final Raw recap beef, we are going to talk about something that I think needs to be addressed. I'm a very, very humble person. Whether there's a WWE superstar I like or I don't like, when they accomplish something big, that is a very positive thing. I like to talk about it. I like to give them their flowers. And that one person I'm giving their flowers is the number one contender for the Women's World title this weekend at WrestleMania 42, Liv Morgan. Earlier today, Liv Morgan's made headlines as she debuted her very first ever official music video. It is called Trouble by Liv Morgan, guys. We saw a little package of that last week on Raw. And, earlier tonight on Raw, we got to see that. Now, that is a big accomplishment. That is something, a lot of people as a young kid, a lot of girls as a young, when they're young, they want to grow up and they want to be a movie star, a music artist. And out of all that, very few get to that level. And Liv Morgan, yeah, she's been in the WWE a long time, almost about 10 years, one whole decade. But the one thing is she's never done what she did until earlier today. And I want to congratulate the one and only Liv Morgan on doing that. But we are going to get back to Liv Morgan later in this episode because she went face to face with her WrestleMania opponent, Stephanie Vaquer, and it did not end well. But we will get back to Liv Morgan in a little bit. But before we move on, I just wanted to say one thing to Liv Morgan, and that is congratulations on something very big, so Liv Morgan, from everybody right here on YouTube, congratulations. All right, WWE YouTube fans. So heading into tonight's Monday Night Raw, we had no matches announced. So really, the one huge question was what matches were there going to be on the final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 42, okay? And we had 4 matches, and 2 of the 4 were out of the women's division. But our very first match tonight was opponents. Now, these 2 ladies will be up against one another in a fatal 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania 42. It was the Queen, Charlotte Flair, taking on Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria had a very odd moment last year at WrestleMania because she was scheduled to team up with Bayley in a women's tag team championship match until Bayley was taken out by the Man, Becky Lynch. very next night, Becky and Lyra would become new women's tag team champions. But yes, guys, it was Lyra Valkyria and Charlotte Flair on the first match of the night on Monday Night Raw. And this match was very, very interesting. Number one, it was a pure awesome match. When you talk about athleticism, when you talk about agility, when you talk about the technique in the ring, when you talk about stuff like putting on like at least a 5-star match to kick off Monday Night Raw, you got that, and it was just Lyra Valkyria and Charlotte Flair. But it kind of ended in a very odd way, because what happened was Charlotte Flair would throw Lyra Valkyria into her partner Bayley, and then she would go in out of the ring to pick up Lyra Valkyria, throw her back in the ring, and Bayley got up and made one little itty bitty boo-boo, and that would actually go right onto Charlotte Flair, and next thing you knew, bippity boppity boo, guys, Lyra Valkyria would be able to defeat the Queen, Charlotte Flair, and that was all from the assist by Bayley. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, Charlotte Flair and Lyra had a really good match. I wouldn't give that match a 5-star match. I would at least give it a 4 out of 5-star match. But it was the opening match on Monday Night Raw tonight, and boy, did they both put on a really good show. For Charlotte Flair, I felt like she felt embarrassed. I felt like she was really upset, and but like, no offense to the Queen, Charlotte Flair, but you remember, she threw Lyra Valkyria into Bayley. Okay, so she kind of instigated the whole thing. All Bayley did was finish it. And you know what? I mean, maybe the Queen learned a lesson from the role model. Maybe. But to kick off the night, we had a really good match out of the women's division, and I really liked it. I really thought, watching Lyra and Charlotte, I actually thought Charlotte was going to win the matchup, but I did not expect the way the match ended to actually end, and I think the one mistake that Charlotte made was throwing Lyra Valkyria into Bayley, because that's how the only reason Lyra Valkyria won is because of her tag team partner Bayley. If it wasn't for Bayley, I don't think Lyra Valkyria would have been able to beat the Queen, even though, Charlotte has been in the WWE longer than Lyra. You gotta remember the role model Bayley. She's also a veteran in the WWE as well. And yeah, I mean, that's really the only way I can say it, guys. But a very big upset happened in the first match of Raw tonight, with Lyra Valkyria defeating Charlotte Flair, guys. And again, Lyra can thank her tag team partner, the role model Bayley, for all of that. But now, guys, we got to talk about what I was just saying and about Liv Morgan. Okay, now we're going to get back to Liv Morgan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, Liv Morgan will compete against La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, for the women's world title. Now, over the past couple of weeks, guys, these two ladies have been literally on a warpath, okay? And I'll be very honest with you guys. You know, both Liv Morgan and La Primera Stephanie Vaquer are one of the most top talented women in all of the WWE at the moment. And you gotta realize that last year at WrestleMania, Liv Morgan was competing with Raquel Rodriguez defending the women's tag team title, and 1 year later, in the same building and in the same city, she will be competing for the women's world title on the grandest stage of them all. And the feud heading into WrestleMania with her and La Primera Stephanie Vaquer is like any other I have seen. When you talk about a world title match at WrestleMania, boy, do you have to have a really good feud like the one we are seeing. But it was La Primera in the ring with Kathy Kelly for an exclusive interview, and unfortunately, guys, that interview would not take place. Last week, La Primera broke into the Judgment Day's clubhouse and attacked Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan were placed into concussion protocol. But La Primera would take Liv Morgan and smash her face through the TV screen in the Judgment Day's clubhouse. Unfortunately, Roxanne Perez is still in the concussion protocol. But just 7 days after that attack, surprisingly, Liv Morgan was not placed in concussion. Although she was in concussion protocol, she would come back on a vengeance, and a crazy vengeance, with La Primera. She took out, well, she didn't really take out Stephanie Vaquer, but she attacked Stephanie before the interview in the ring could even begin, guys. And what makes this even more crazy is, she mentioned Stephanie Vaquer's mom. She said, "I always knew your mom was trash, but I never knew she raised a little B word." If I even say the word on this channel on YouTube, I would lose my job. So I'm not going to say it. But, that is literally how personal this rivalry for the women's world title has gotten, guys. And we are less than a week away from seeing these two ladies battle it out for the women's world title at WrestleMania. And I got a question to ask you guys, okay? Hey, we are literally less than a week away from WrestleMania. So, I got to ask you the question, who is walking out of WrestleMania 42 as Women's World Champion in your opinion? Will Stephanie Vaquer retain, or will we have a new Women's World title? And will the title be coming to the Judgment Day after WrestleMania 42? But the Women's World title match for Mania this weekend is, oh my God, man, it is off the hooks. And I am definitely looking forward to watching that match this weekend at Allegiant Stadium, guys. But I mean, it is personal between those two ladies, and I really cannot say it any other way. It's going to be a good match, but it's going to be a fight. Even though it is a normal match, ladies and gentlemen, it is still going to be a blown out fight, and you can expect pure chaos, okay, between these two ladies at WrestleMania. But, it may be a little early still to, ask who will win. But if you guys already know your opinion on who will be Women's World Champion after WrestleMania, definitely leave it down below in the comment section. I would love to know. All right, guys. So there was a lot more that happened on tonight's Monday Night Raw, but I do want to talk about really just one thing, and I wanted to talk about something that I think we all want to talk about, and that is the World Heavyweight Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this coming Sunday, CM Punk will defend this very championship in the main event of WrestleMania 42 against the 2026 Men's Royal Rumble match winner, Roman Reigns. Now, earlier, prior to Raw being on the air, we kind of heard a little political message by the OTC Roman Reigns. And all Roman Reigns, he called CM Punk a coward. He called CM Punk a hypocrite. And he said, by the end of tonight, I'm only going to give CM Punk one chance to tell the truth. And right as the OTC was about to say whatever he needed to say in that WWE ring, the song of Cult of Personality struck in Sacramento, California. But instead of the World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk, coming down the aisle, he came down the stairs. And if you don't know, what is so special about that and unique regarding to this match? When Roman Reigns was in the Shield, and shortly after the Shield dismembered, Roman Reigns would make his entrance coming down the aisle. And that's how CM Punk entered the arena to go to the ring tonight on Monday Night Raw. But here's the caveat, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk admitted the truth. CM Punk told the truth. CM Punk, he used a term that he used a lot when he was in AEW. I just mentioned AEW. Oh my God, Ryan, what are you doing? Hear me out. When CM Punk was in AEW, okay, he would use a quote, and it was not a quote that doesn't it feel great to be alive. It wasn't that. It was tell me when I'm telling lies. So he got on the announce table where Corey Graves and Michael Cole was sitting, and he said, Roman, you're right. I need to say the truth. And I'm going to say the truth as Sacramento, California, as my witness. And you, Roman Reigns, you're the OTC. You get to be the judge, jury, and executioner. But tell me when I'm telling lies. And he would talk about how he hated Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns was handed the spot in the WWE, and CM Punk had to grow up and in the back alleys of the great city of Chicago, CM Punk had to bust his ass day in and day out, and Roman Reigns was literally handed everything in the WWE. For 1,316 days, Roman Reigns was the undisputed champion in WWE, and CM Punk hated that. Yeah, I know. Hate is a strong word, but the caveat going on that CM Punk said this Sunday, when the dust settles, I will have blood pouring down my old face. I will be beaten, battered. But at the end of the night, when the dust settles and it is clear, the ring announcer will say, your winner and still world heavyweight champion, CM Punk. So what would the OTC Roman Reigns have to say to that? And he actually said, Punk, you're right. Everything you said is the truth, except one thing. They're not going to be saying and still. They're going to be saying and new world champion. And Roman Reigns just made his last promise before WrestleMania. He's going to take back the WWE. He said the tribal chief is going to take back the gold, and it will all be in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. So, yeah, a great ending to Monday Night Raw tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the fast path to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada for WrestleMania 42. All right, WWE YouTube fans, even though there was more that went on Monday Night Raw tonight, I think that is a good place to stop. You know what? I will resume some other stuff that happened on Raw tonight, tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. But I just wanted to let you guys know, I hope you guys are more excited than WrestleMania 42 than I am. I can't wait, guys. I mean, you know, it's going to be a fun time. There is one WWE superstar, and I don't know if he's on Raw or SmackDown, but he's never competed at WrestleMania. So, and he's already wanting to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He wants to talk to the host of WrestleMania, John Cena. But I think everybody loves him. And he is right about one thing. Even though he's never had a match at WrestleMania, he technically is still undefeated. But we're going to talk a little bit about him in tomorrow's episode as well. So I just wanted to give you guys that little bit of a heads up. But all right, guys, that we got 2 episodes done today. If you guys have not watched the pre-show of Monday Night Raw on the channel yet, go check that out and all of that. But I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. Have a great rest of your Monday night. Stay safe, guys. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and one another. Give someone a compliment. Be nice to a stranger. Help someone out if you can, guys. And most importantly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if there's anything more you want me to talk about. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow in our next episode.